Just like you and me, as light aircraft get older, they usually gain a few extra pounds. Extra bits of trim, old equipment, redundant wiring, there's plenty of ways an aircraft weight can creep up. And more weight means less performance, less useful load, and less fun. When I acquired my Super Cub project, there was one thing that was bugging me. As I looked around the airframe, I saw a few parts that looked like they were adding unnecessary weight. A look in the paperwork suggested it was already carrying a few too many unwanted pounds. Its last weighing in France in 1979 suggested it was 877 pounds. And then after it was imported into the UK in 1981, the empty weight eventually rose to 987 pounds in 1988. The last weight and balance I found for the aeroplane suggested in 1996 it was a pretty heavy 1,053 pounds. A look on the internet at supercubs.org found lots of chat that suggested that's pretty lardy for an early model Super Cub. A few owners tossed around numbers in the high 800s for some with no electrics and one wing tank, while somewhere around £950 seemed like a typical figure for one with two tanks and an electrical system. My benchmark was a bit closer to home. My LAA inspector has a similar Super Cub and his came in under the £1,000 mark. So my goal was to get mine from 4 figures down to 3, but that meant losing at least £54 if that old weight and balance was to be believed. Now there were challenges. For a start, this particular aeroplane got damaged in the Great Storm of October 1987.
Earlier on today, apparently a woman rang the BBC and said she heard that there was a hurricane on the way. Well, if you're watching, don't worry, there isn't.
So there were some repairs from a rebuild that followed, plus the whole reason that I now owned the aeroplane was because of issues that grew out of other repairs that followed an incident in 2012. Repairs add weight, and I wasn't going to be able to change any of that easily. The same was true with the engine. When it was built, the aeroplane had a Continental C90, but in 1996 gained an O200. That might have brought 10 more horsepower, but it also added a few more pounds as it's a heavier engine. But when I got my hands on the aeroplane, I soon began to find some accumulated heft to trim back. But I was going to need to be a little bit careful, as weight loss in an aeroplane has to be done in such a way that the centre of gravity envelope for the aircraft isn't adversely affected. Okay, so where were some of the main weight savings? In the cockpit, the 1988 rebuild had added lots of thick red vinyl trim. I stripped most of that out, leaving only a little bit in the baggage area, and replaced it with a very thin fire-resistant textured vinyl in grey. Weight removed was 5.1 pounds. Weight added was 1.2 pounds, so a total saving of 3.9 pounds. On the floor, there were some glued-on rubber mats. Now a Cub has a perfectly good wooden floor, so this was going to have to come out. Total weight removed, 2.7 pounds. The last substantial weight saving in the cabin was this beauty. A parcel shelf made out of 1/4 inch plywood. It weighed in at 5.2 pounds. This baby had to go. When it came to the instrument panel, there were two solid savings to make. One was removing the vacuum pump, along with all the plumbing and the artificial horizon and the direction indicator that used it. And I replaced all of that with the brilliant Avionics AV30. Total weight of all the parts removed, 9.7 pounds. The AV30, just ½ pound. So that netted me a saving of 9.2 pounds. The other big panel saving was replacing a Garmin tray mount transponder with a Trig TT21 compact unit that matched the Trig radio that was already in the aeroplane. The Garmin weighed in at 4.2 pounds. The Trig that replaced it was 0.9 pounds. Net saving was 3.3 pounds. Plus, this wasn't just about weight, it also meant I could fit my right leg under the panel, as the Garmin had been hung off the bottom right-hand side of the panel, just where my right knee wanted to be. When I first laid eyes on this Cub, the one thing that got my attention was the area behind the engine. It looked absolutely packed, and there were two enormous hoses that looked like they could be at home on a 747. It turned out they were the feed and return hoses for an Airwolf remote oil filter system. Now, upgraded oil filtration is a good idea on a small Continental, as in its standard format, the filter is just a wire gauze unit. So I can understand how a unit like this might have been added. But I knew there was a simpler and lighter option, and it was made in the UK by a chap called Julian Mills. Now, Julian makes a few products for small Continental engines, but had a new product that fitted on the accessory pad on the left-hand side of the engine. It would mean removing an oil cooler that used the very same accessory pad, but I was willing to bet that this engine wouldn't have any cooling problems if I deleted the cooler. Just to back that up, I spoke to another owner of Super Cub that had an identical O200 fit to my aeroplane, and he confirmed he didn't have a cooler and had no temperature issues. So it was goodbye to this. So the Airwolf oil filter system and all its parts came off, along with the oil cooler, and in its place went the Mills oil filter adapter. When I fitted it, it was yet to be approved by the Light Aircraft Association, so I took on the task of being the first to seek approval by putting in a prototype modification request. That's currently ongoing as part of the aircraft's flight testing, but so far so good. The components of the older Airwolf oil filter system weighed in at 9.1 pounds, the oil cooler weighed 4.4 pounds, so that was 13.5 pounds removed, 2 pounds of Mills oil filter going back on, so a total saving of 11.5 pounds. Now there was one other elephant in the room when it came to Firewall forward, and that was this beauty, the alternator behind the engine. It was a huge 50 amp Jasco unit that weighed 11.9 pounds. Now I'd heard of a US company called Monkworks that made a high-tech 30 amp generator that's tiny and weighs just 2.7 pounds, plus it mounts to the vacuum pump accessory pad. Now I had one of those available as I ditched the vacuum pump. Like the Mills oil filter adapter, it wasn't LAA approved yet, but after swapping a few emails with the manufacturer and talking to a few friends who had them on home builds in the US, I took the plunge and ordered one. It meant another prototype modification, but it was definitely worth it. The unit has performed flawlessly so far, and by ditching the giant alternator and fitting the tiny Monkworks, I've shaved another 9.2 pounds off the aeroplane. There was one weight saving on Firewall forward that was almost entirely accidental. In the course of working with engine wizards Nicholson McLaren to check the Bendix magnetos that came with the engine, I decided to switch to slick units. A pair of Bendix magnetos weighed in at 11.2 pounds. The slicks, a pair of those weighed 9.6 pounds. So that meant I saved 1.6 pounds, almost accidentally. There's even savings with taking out the tiniest of parts, because there's a whole bunch of hardware that just wasn't doing a job anymore. And actually when I took all that out and added it up at the end of the project, it weighed in at just over a pound. I've saved it till last as it was the biggest single weight saving of all, and it was the easiest one to make. Just behind the cabin was the Cub's battery box, and it contained a huge Concorde RG35 battery. That weighed in at 29 pounds. Now in the Vans RV world that I'm familiar with, the Odyssey PC680 is a popular battery choice. It's much smaller and still has all the necessary power to do the job, and weighs in at nearly half of what the Concorde does at 15 pounds, which saved me a whopping 14 pounds. So if you add all these up and throw in a few extra items that came out during the whole program, the total weight saving, wait for it, was 65 pounds. And on an aeroplane like the Cub with a max gross weight of 1,500 pounds, that's a big chunk to save. As for the CRG, it came out in a great spot, so the aeroplane flies nicely. By the time the Cub was back together and on the scales, it posted a new empty weight of 966 pounds, and I was delighted. Now clearly, the 1996 empty weight had the aeroplane at 1053 pounds, and to get to 966, that's clearly more than a 65 pound saving. But I think it shows the perils of calculating empty weights rather than actually putting an aeroplane on the scales. But 966 pounds is great, certainly reasonable enough for me, and considering the aeroplane definitely carries some extra weight with its bigger O200 and modern wheels and tyres, which are bigger than standard, it's not really surprising. And I can look at the aeroplane and feel like I've done right by it.
So, if you want to shave a little bit of weight off your aeroplane, there's plenty of modern kit to do that job. Certainly, I'm really happy that the Cub is now a little bit lighter, and that's going to benefit me in future. Right, time for some more flying.
As always, if you're looking for a cheaper way to fly, subscribe to the Flyer channel and watch our videos in future. It can help you save money.